This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Tuesday, the 12th day of May in the year 2020. I'm Gordon Mosley. Here's what we're tracking tonight. The Guyana Elections Commission is examining the possibility of adding more workstations at the Arthur Chung Convention Center to get more votes counted in a faster time. There are currently 10 workstations in operation. Today marked the 7th day of the recount, and just over 10% of the total ballot boxes have been counted so far. There are 2,239 ballot boxes. GCOM's Public Relations Officer Yolanda Ward told reporters this evening that while it is not clear how many new workstations will be added, possible areas within the convention center were examined today for those possible workstations.
What they have decided to do is to really explore the possibility of establishing additional workstations. We are still cognizant of the COVID-19 pandemic, and of course, as you're aware, there was a report that was provided to us by the task force based on their initial assessment of this venue. At the conclusion of that meeting, a few of the commissioners had a quick look around to see where they can possibly establish those additional workstations. They haven't decided on a number of workstations to be established because we still have to be conscious in terms of the requirements for social and physical distancing and all of that.
The Elections Commission has invited health officials from the National COVID-19 Task Force to examine the areas in keeping with the requirements for physical distancing as part of the coronavirus health measures.
While they have identified a few possible areas, they also agreed that the chair of the commission will contact the task force to see if we can have some public health officials visit tomorrow to have a look at those spaces to determine whether they would be conducive to have counting stations within the current public health environment.
With the average number of boxes being completed per day reaching just over 50, the Commission may be looking at the possibility of increasing that number so that even if it has to extend the 25-day timeline, that extension will not be by much.
They're hoping that with that establishment and being able to complete more boxes per day, it might be able to say somehow or we can really fall within that duration.
Additionally, in an effort to fasten the recount process, the Commission also decided today that the examination of the contents of the ballot boxes could be minimized.
It was an observation that we can look in terms of the content being established, examined in the ballot boxes, how some of that time could be minimized. And just to focus on the content that is really specific to the process. For example, one of those envelopes contain folios, and based on what is in the order, the folio is not an essential document to the process. So trying to narrow down some of those in particular, those documents and envelopes that may not be relevant to the process, the Commission thought it best that this is something that they will examine. They haven't made any decisions on it, but they're looking to see how best an implementation of such a system will help to cut down on the time spent on the examination of those other envelopes in the boxes.
The Public Relations Officer said the issue of the observation report was also raised once again during the Commission's meeting, but the Commission noted the importance of that report. However, it cautioned again about the way the report is being compiled and the information that is being contained in that report. More news coming up in just a moment.
GBTI is your Guyanese bank, a bank that understands every customer's unique needs, opportunities, challenges, and financial concerns. At GBTI, we see you for you. Whether you're buying a new home or car, planning your next vacation or retirement, saving for your child's future, or whether you're ready to take that bold step of investing in your dream business idea, we are with you every step of the way. We hear your stories and watch you focus on your dreams as we share your aspirations. We are more than just banking. We are a family. we are part of your community. Our commitment extends way beyond the walls of our branches and is demonstrated every day in the opportunities we provide to our individual and business customers. The support, time, and commitment we give back to communities across Guyana to help improve the lives of our Guyanese families. Because we see Guyana through your eyes.
We all want to stay in touch, right? Now, even more than ever before. So to keep your connection strong, GTT is going 2 for 2. Combine GTT mobile and home internet services and we'll give you 2 gigs of free mobile data each month. With 2 GTT services, you're fully connected at home and on the go. Visit us online at gtt.co.gy/2for2 to learn more and start doing more with 2 for 2 from GTT. Stay safe, stay strong, Guyana. We're in this together.
We can reduce the risk of contracting viruses by strengthening our immune system, and one way of doing this is by eating as healthily as possible to support optimal immune function. Micronutrients essential to fight infection include vitamins A, B, C, D, and E, and the minerals iron, selenium, and zinc. Here's what we need to know about the foods we can eat to get them. Vitamin A is found in fish, egg yolks, cheese, nuts, seeds, whole grains, and beans. Vitamin B9 folate is abundant in green leafy vegetables, beans, nuts, and seeds, and it's also added to a lot of the flour that we use in Guyana. Vitamin B12 is found in animal products including eggs, meat, and dairy, and also in some fortified milk. Vitamin C and vitamin E helps to protect our body when we're fighting an infection. Good sources of vitamin C include oranges, lemons, limes, tomatoes, and cherries. In Guyana, one of our cherry has the amount of vitamin C needed for the entire day for a person. Vitamin E is found in nuts, green leafy vegetables, and vegetable oils. Although sun exposure allows the body to produce vitamin D, food sources including eggs, fish, and some milk and margarine brands may be fortified with vitamin D, meaning some extra has been added. Most people need just a few minutes outdoors most days to get enough of the vitamin D needed. And beyond diet, there are other measures you can take to stay as healthy as possible. No smoking, reduce the intake of alcohol or none at all, exercise every day, and sleep and rest well. And please remember to reduce your intake of sweetened and carbonated beverages and drink lots and lots of water.
While a bipartisan group of U.S. congressional representatives is urging the government of Guyana to allow the Carter Center and the technical advisory team from the International Republic Institute into Guyana to join the observation of the national recount of votes. The recount entered its 7th day today. Last week, Guyana's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Karen Cummings, wrote the U.S. ambassador to Guyana on behalf of the president, informing her that the airports will remain closed to incoming passenger traffic as part of Guyana's national COVID-19 emergency measures. The foreign minister said the government requests that its measures to protect its citizens from disease are respected. The embassy was seeking the return of the Carter Center and IRI for the recount. While the Carter Center is an accredited observer, the IRI group is not, and worked along with the Elections Commission in the lead-up to the elections on voter education matters. In a statement today, Representatives Albio Spires, Gregory Meek, Sanford Bishop, Francis Rooney, Jeff Duncan, and Jennifer Gonzalez-Colon said they welcome the recount of votes in Guyana and the role CARICOM is playing, but they still want the Carter Center and IRI back in Guyana. The CARICOM high-level team is catered for in the recount order and followed agreement between the president and the leader of the opposition. The U.S. congressional representatives said they continue to support a fully transparent election process that reflects the will of the Guyanese people, and they remain dedicated to ensuring that the Guyanese people are free to exercise their right to vote and their votes are counted accurately. This past weekend, the high-ranking Democratic Congressman, Representative Hakeem Jeffries of New York, accused the U.S. government of interfering in the electoral process in Guyana. In an interview, he said the U.S. has had to deal with interference in its own elections, and therefore it is difficult to understand the statements made by the U.S. government on the elections in Guyana. A number of local and international observers, along with CARICOM, have been observing the recount. President David Granger has said he is committed to the recount process and will accept the declaration that will be made by the Guyana Elections Commission at the end of the process. In the world of politics, the People's Progressive Party Civic believes that the governing APNU-AFC coalition is attempting to discredit the activities of Elections Day with its claims about irregularities being uncovered during the recount. The APNU-AFC has claimed that votes were cast on Elections Day by persons who were not in Guyana and on behalf of persons who had died. The party has said it has the evidence to support its claims, but in a statement, the PPP, which has been claiming victory since Elections Day, described the AFC's accusations and claims as an orchestrated and ludicrous campaign to undermine and discredit the election day's activities. The PPP said the APNU-AFC has been making what it calls false and frivolous objections during the recount exercise. It said those objections are being recorded in the recount observation manual. The PPP said it is strange that the APNU-AFC would have claimed that the elections were free and fair, but has now found itself pointing out alleged discrepancies. The People's Progressive Party believes that the allegations made by the APNU-AFC are insulting to the presiding officers, other GCOM staff, and party agents who worked on Elections Day. It believes the Guyana Elections Commission must address the allegations to protect the integrity of the elections. The APNU-AFC coalition has said it remains committed to the recount process and will continue to point out irregularities that may have occurred. Turning now to our COVID watch, the Public Health Ministry has conducted a total of 56 tests for the coronavirus over the past 24 hours, and 4 new cases of the disease have been recorded. The total number of confirmed cases has reached 113, with 67 of those cases being active. A total of 39 persons have made full recoveries, and there are 6 persons in the coronavirus intensive care unit, with 1 person incubated. Deputy Chief Medical Officer Dr. Karen Boyle-Gordon today said the behavior of citizens is not encouraging, and that could result in a longer than expected lockdown.
As the ministry's response efforts continue, your behavior is not encouraging. You continue to flout control measures and to put all at risk. Instead of our curve beginning to flatten, we still see an upward trajectory in positive coronavirus cases. In the last 24 hours, an additional 56 tests were done, bringing the total number of persons tested to 986, with 873 persons testing negative.
The National COVID-19 Task Force is believed to be examining the possibility of a complete lockdown in the country if the numbers continue to climb. A total of 12 new cases were recorded over the past 3 days, and health officials remain worried.
We must seriously think about reducing the transmission of this disease and containing the spread of the virus so that we all can return to normalcy. Isn't this our ultimate goal? Therefore, we ask you not only to abide by the rules, but those of you who have been in contact with positive cases, we ask you to come forward and provide information about your contacts as well, so that you and your loved one can avoid the risk of contracting the disease and possibly losing your life.
It was also announced today that the Cayuga-Mazaruni region has recorded its first case of the coronavirus. 7 of the 10 administrative regions have now reported the disease. Dr. Gordon Boyle said it is clear that the virus is slowly making its way across the entire country, but citizens must step up and follow the guidelines to play their part in combating the spread. It was a worrying scene in Lethem this morning as a man who was recently tested positive for the coronavirus escaped from the Lethem hospital. He has since been recaptured and hospitalized in neighboring Brazil. The man, who has been identified as Hamlet da Silva, was discovered missing early this morning when nurses went to check on him in his ward at the hospital. Regional authorities were called in and they launched a search around the Region 9 community. However, those searches were called off when information was received from neighboring Brazil that da Silva, who also holds Brazilian citizenship, had been taken into custody there after using an illegal crossing to gain entry into the country. He's now a patient of a hospital in Belém and will remain there. Brazil has the highest recorded number of coronavirus cases in South America, with more than 172,000 cases, with close to 12,000 deaths. The skyrocketing numbers in Brazil forced Guyanese authorities to issue a warning to citizens in the bordering communities, asking them to be extra vigilant and on high alert against the coronavirus. Guyana joined the rest of the world in observing International Nurses Day today, and in a statement to mark the day, President David Granger reminded that nurses are the foundation of the healthcare system and are on the front lines of the health workforce in the national effort to fight the coronavirus pandemic. According to the President, despite many challenges, nurses continue to serve dutifully, diligently, and with dedication, even in the face of personal peril.
Nurses are the foundation and are on the front lines of the healthcare workforce in our national effort to fight this pandemic. Our nurses, despite many challenges, continue to serve dutifully, diligently, and with dedication, even in the face of personal peril. Guyanese nurses provide critical care in the rural, hinterland, and remote parts of our country. They might be required to travel long distances on foot, by all-terrain vehicle or bus, by road, or in boats, by river, or by light aircraft to provide care to the sick or injured. Their service in our homes, hospitals, and communities, from birth to death, is well known. Their commitment to life-saving efforts, even personal sacrifice at this time, is commendable.
The President said Guyana remains proud of the legacy of nursing and nurses and is forever grateful to the nation's nurses. Public Health Minister Paula Lawrence, in her statement, also paid tribute to the tireless work done by nurses over the years, especially during this time. She said nurses and midwives have always been playing a vital role and they must be respected and praised for that.
You are the people who devote your lives to caring for our mothers and children, giving life-saving immunizations and health advice, looking after the elderly, and generally meeting everyday essential health needs. You are often the first and only point of care in your communities. This is the power that you possess as nurses. Yes, you are an ever-present force for good.
The Guyana Public Service Union has also recognized the contribution and work of nurses and has said that they must also be paid better for the work and sacrifices that they make. Well, with the Hydromet Office predicting at least 3 more days of heavy rainfall, several parts of Georgetown were on the floodwaters today. The Civil Defense Commission has been monitoring the situation. This morning in downtown Georgetown, the canal along Avenue of the Republic overflowed onto the roadways. Several nearby streets were also inundated with floodwaters. A number of areas in the city, including in Albertown, Queenstown, North and South Ruimveldt, and parts of East Ruimveldt were flooded. Heavy rainfall started late last evening and continued into this morning and for most of the day today. There was a break in the city during the early morning hours, but then the rainfall intensified, resulting in even more flooded streets. The City Engineers Department has indicated that all pumps in the city are working. In a statement last evening, the Hydromet Office warned citizens in low-lying and flood-prone areas to take all necessary steps against flooding, as the current weather pattern will remain for several days. Across the Region is coming up next.
Wondering how you can access free learning materials for your children? Parents and guardians, please visit the Ministry of Education's website at www.education.gov.gy to access textbooks, past papers, and practice tests to keep your child engaged in continuous learning. When you have accessed the site, go to the Students tab, wait for a second, and choose the appropriate option. You now have access to the resources you need. You are encouraged to take advantage of this opportunity as we strive to provide the best education for the nation's children. A message from the Ministry of Education.
They've made a positive impact on the heavy-duty transportation industry in Guyana since they've arrived. Guyanese are amazed at their power, durability, efficiency, and superior handling capabilities. These are brand new trucks, manufactured in partnership with German, Italian, and French companies. They have a powerful reputation for operating under very adverse Guyanese conditions and come with full after-sales service and spare parts. They're the most sought-after trucks today, with over 500 units in Guyana, and they're available in over 100 countries, including South America and the Caribbean. Be smart. Buy brand new ST Howo trucks today. Call 608-4998 and arrange for an inspection at ST Truck Guyana Incorporated, Block B, Public Road, Covenant, East Bank, Demerara.
We are legions of men standing strong, but never too proud to stoop and help someone. We must send a clear signal to all. Do right. Walk in upright ways, knowing that's what being a man is all about. And ever aware that things will only get worse when good men do nothing. Stand strong. Be the one to live right.
Falls, a trademark of China's Zhanghao Incorporated, located at Land of Cane in East Bank, Demerara, was incorporated in April of 2013, with over $10 billion Guyana dollars invested in a state-of-the-art 100,000 barrel fuel storage facility, a modern service station, an office complex, and a modern wharf that can berth international vessels. Having no association with any other fuel company, Falls imports its own fuel, which meets quality specifications, has all the legal permits, and is in compliance with international requirements. Its bulk facility can load 8 trucks simultaneously at a rate of 1,000 liters per minute, while the service station can service 12 cars at a time using computerized fuel pumps, which can facilitate the use of ATM cards. Through its professional team of mostly Guyanese, Falls wholesales and retails fuels to the public, including farmers and miners, and will continue to positively contribute to Guyana by providing quality products, service, and attractive prices. Try Falls today for all your fuel needs.
Anyone who believes he or she was exposed to coronavirus COVID-19 must stay at home and not mix with other family members. This quarantine is to help stop the spread of the virus at home and in our communities. While at home for 14 days or 2 weeks, here are some valuable tips you must follow. First, get a separate room which family members will not be allowed to enter during those 14 days of quarantine. Ensure this room allows you to get lots of fresh air. Second, if you must meet family members, stay at least 1 meter or 3 feet away from them. Third, when it comes to personal hygiene, other members of the household should use a separate bathroom. If you must share a bathroom, ensure you always clean the taps, doorknobs, and all utensils with soap and running water. Fourth, limit the number of visitors to your home. Anyone in quarantine must not meet and greet any visitor. Fifth, practice frequent hand washing with soap and running water. Wash your hands for at least 20 seconds every time. If there are no soap and running water, use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer with at least 75% alcohol. Sixth, always avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth with unwashed hands. Seventh, after using face masks or gloves, always throw them away. Put them in bins with covers. Remember also to always use separate plates, drinking glasses, cups, and other eating utensils, towels, bedding, and other items for the family member who is in quarantine. And don't forget to use detergents every time to wash all utensils, bed linen, and clothes used by the person in quarantine. Please remember to use the thermometer, not the back of your hands, to monitor the body temperature of the quarantined family member. Monitor them 2 times every day. be sure to write down the temperature. If he or she develops a fever or temperature above 37.5 degrees Celsius or 99.5 degrees Fahrenheit, cough or has difficulty breathing, sore throat, body aches and pain, immediately call the COVID-19 hotline by dialing 180 or 181. Protect yourself and others. Play your part in helping to reduce the risk of contracting or spreading COVID-19. This is a message from the Ministry of Public Health in collaboration with PAHO WHO. For more information, kindly visit the Ministry's website www.health.gov.gy or its Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter pages.
Across the region right now, Trinidad and Tobago University students in Jamaica and Barbados wishing to return home in light of the coronavirus will have to spend 14 days in quarantine in both countries before being allowed to board a special Caribbean Airlines flight. That's according to the National Security Minister, Stuart Young. The minister said that discussions are taking place with the principals of the campuses of the University of the West Indies on the issue. Trinidad and Tobago closed its borders as part of the measures to combat the spread of the coronavirus. And over last weekend, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley hinted that the border issue would be re-examined in June as part of the phased reopening of the country. The first recorded coronavirus-related death in Brazil happened almost 2 months earlier than previously thought, researchers have confirmed. Scientists in Brazil have examined cases of patients taken to the hospital with respiratory problems. They say molecular tests suggest that one patient who died in Rio de Janeiro between the 19th and 25th of January had the coronavirus. The first previously known death in Brazil was that of a man on the 16th of March. The scientists also say their research suggests that the virus was being spread from person to person in Brazil way back in February. And finally tonight, international news. 2 babies along with 11 mothers and nurses were killed in an attack in a hospital in the Afghan capital. Another 15 people, including a number of children, were injured when several gunmen attacked the Kabul hospital this morning. Part of the hospital is run by the international medical charity Medicines Sans Frontières, and some of those working there are foreigners. Meanwhile, in the east, an attack at a police funeral killed more than 24 persons today in Afghanistan. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting.